Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Why didn't that kill her?
I have no idea. How did that flash me?
How'd you get out of it?
I don't know.
Again. Shotgun. Yeah, one at a time. Come on. Yeah, that's what you need.
Enemies eliminated.
Oh.
What is going on, everyone? Griffin here, coming at you with some glitch gameplay, and today we're going to be talking about the developers. Are they being sabotaged? Let's head over and check it out. So this is a Reddit post, and we will dive even more in depth with this on the next episode of the broadcast, but this is something that I thought was very interesting and very unique, and I kind of want to bring it up, hit some of the high notes in here, and then also discuss what the implications of this could actually be. So the post here by Cheese Crustada says, what if developers are actually fine, but someone keeps sabotaging them? I've seen a lot of hate for high res on this sub, and I've even indulged in a bit myself, but recently I've been wondering, what if ROCO's developers actually are doing their job, and someone just keeps sabotaging them for one reason or another? And then as you kind of skim down here, recently, I was looking for some videos to see what the game was like in alpha and at release. I found some videos advertising the game, showcasing it. These featured commentary / interviews from devs, and the guys looked so genuinely excited and dedicated. Then I compared this to what I've seen on some of the live streams where the devs talked about the newest Battle Pass update and patches, and the guys just looked so done with everything, like they didn't want to do it anymore, and they're tired. Sure, they smiled, but it wasn't genuine. Yet they didn't look like arrogant chumps that smiled to the plebs. They looked more like something was bothering them. I think there's a really unpleasant working environment at high res, and that the devs are kind of trapped with it. They may have wanted to make a good game, and we all know they delivered, but now they feel boxed in and just do what they're told, even if this means not fixing bugs, because it's ultimately not their decision to make. Kind of like how it happened with Raven Software, who went from making really cool games like Heretic and Jedi Outcast to making infinite sequels to Call of Duty. So I'm going to use this as a point to kind of pivot over and kind of break this down just a little bit and also explain the situation a little bit here. So are the developers being sabotaged? So in the past with high res, because I started playing Paladins and I got a little bit more insight into the way that high res operated and the higher ups at high res operated because of Paladins. There was a time for Paladins specifically that if, you know, one of the higher ups at high res could not beat someone or felt like that they were not performing at a specific level, it wasn't their skill, it wasn't their fault, it was because of this character that they're playing is completely underpowered, and they needed to go in there and buff that character up to make that person feel good about playing that character. Okay, once you're catering a game around one specific person's desires and vision, that is where the game starts to fall apart. Now, that could be something that is happening over at First Watch Games and with Rogue Company. I'm not one to say yes or no, and if it was happening, it honestly wouldn't surprise me. I do know that Hi-Rez is in the business of making free-to-play games. At the end of the day, that's what they're in business of making. So they're going to continue to release free-to-play games with some type of monetary back end on that, like battle passes and cosmetics and things like that. So of course, whenever you have to make money for your game to continue running your game, you're going to focus a lot of your time and resources in creating cosmetics and things like that to bring into the game so that people spend money to actually keep the game going. It's kind of a vicious cycle of nonsense. If they stop releasing cosmetics, if they stop releasing content for the game and focus strictly on fixing the bugs also, and server issues and matchmaking issues and things like that, then it would be better for the game and it would put the game in a better spot, but they wouldn't be making any money on the back end. So there may be someone standing over them saying, you're not going to do this. You're not going to fix this. You don't have time to do this because I need all of your focus and attention to go into making the next battle pass, into these collaborations with The Walking Dead and get those skins looking good. I need you to focus on that stuff. I don't need you to focus on all these issues that everybody's talking about over here. And then whenever you go online, specifically Reddit, Twitter, things like that, you have the player base screaming from the mountaintops that they would play the game more. They would spend more money if the game actually ran good and they had an enjoyable experience while playing it. It's just a never ending situation. It's who's on third all over again. Like, that's all it is. You can't make the player base happy. Therefore, the player base doesn't buy your skins and doesn't put money into your game. And you can't focus on making the player base happy because you need to make skins in order to make money for the game. It's a terrible system that's set up over there. It is absolutely terrible. Whenever you look at the game, whenever it was in closed beta, you saw that they had a buy-in structured system, right? You had a monetary investment to be able to play the game early unless you were lucky enough to get a code or watch enough of someone playing the game in order to get a drop for Rogue Company, right? I bought into it. I thought it was interesting. I enjoyed what I saw from other people playing the game, so I bought into it at a $60 level. I know several people bought into it at $10 to $15 level, whichever one it was, and there were some people that I play with on a regular basis that got the codes and just downloaded it and installed it that way. That's fine. But if there is someone that is looming over the development team over there and telling them, don't focus on this stuff that's bad, focus on this stuff that's going to make us money, I don't know if that's the right direction to take that. And I don't know if that person's right. I don't know if that person's wrong. I don't know what their books look like. I don't know how much it costs to keep Rogue Company running. I don't know how much money that they're making off of it monthly. So I can't sit here and be like, this is not good and this is not bad. Like, I just don't know enough information about it. But you can also see this conundrum that the developers find themselves in. You release a free-to-play game from a very small studio that has a very small team that needs people to purchase things in that game in order to sustain that game. And by doing that, you're not able to focus on the real important things. You're not able to bring more people onto the team. You're not able to invest the time and money into those resources. You unfortunately have to focus that time and money into what actually nets you money. It's a terrible situation, and I don't like the way that it's set up. Me personally, I would rather pay $60 right out of the gate to get a gaming experience that I know is going to feel good, and it's going to give the developers enough money and enough time in order to go in there and flesh out any inconsistencies with the game. Whenever you have like free-to-play games like Warzone or Overwatch, where they're charging an absurd amount of money for their skins, but they also have the backing of Blizzard, they have the backing of Activision, and then they also have these huge teams that are focusing specifically on that, you really don't have to worry about that. You know, Blizzard was a AAA studio before they were acquired by Activision, and Activision was more than a AAA studio. It was a massive, huge explosion of a gaming company. So you have all the billions and billions and billions of dollars that feeds back into each other. You had the pandemic happen, and with the pandemic, you had people playing Warzone, and with people playing Warzone, investing money into it, and it netted them somewhere around $3 billion for like that first year. And the game came out in March. So they reinvest that $3 billion into other properties that they have. You don't have to worry about a lot of the things that Hi-Rez worries about. And I know that we give them a rough time. I know that we all kind of jump in and dogpile on certain things in the game, but that to me doesn't feel like it's negative. It doesn't feel like it's toxic. What it feels like is the fact that, like, whoever is making decisions over at Hi-Rez needs to understand that if people can't get on there and have a quality playing experience, they're not going to play. Therefore, they're not going to spend any money on the game. So fix some of the issues as they come up as you can, while also continuing to create new cosmetics to actually net you money. I can't tell you when the last time I spent money on the game was. Probably the battle pass. I used to buy a bundle every time I got paid. I would get Rogue bucks and enough to buy bundles for as many weeks as I could, and I would re-up every time. I haven't done that in the last couple of weeks. There's nothing in the bundles that interests me. And why would I drop, 30, 40, 50 bucks twice a month on a game where we have terrible servers and our matchmaking system is busted and all these inconsistencies and bugs still exist in the game? That's just where I stand. But be sure to let me know where you stand in the comments down below. Do you think that there is someone that is sabotaging the First Watch team over there and trying to push a different agenda? Do you think it's the lack of people involved in the game developing it, or do you think it's just not caring on the developer side? Be sure to let me know what you think in the comments down below. Also, be sure to check that description for links to Facebook, Discord, and Twitter. Those are the places to contact me. If you haven't already, please be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. If you've already subscribed to the channel, then consider hitting that join button to become one of the 256 crew members. And lastly, on Thursdays from 8 until 11 p.m. Central Time, Sundays from 10 a.m. until we get tired, I will be streaming here on YouTube. So if you're interested and available, please feel free to stop by and say hello there. Thanks for watching, guys.